His Excellency the Governor of Garissa, Ambassador Ali Korane, Honorable Adan Kainan, all other leaders present, fellow youth, good morning. How are you? My name is Simayai Rakisha from Kajiado County, and I'm honored to have been invited to this ASAL Youth Conference. This coming just 2 months when our leaders in the Senate gave us victory during the so much debated revenue allocation bill. So it's my pleasure being here to share with my fellow youth and our leaders here. So thank you very much for the invitation. We all know that Kenya is a constitutional democracy, and in a democracy people may not think alike. We all have divergent opinions and views, and whichever stand someone takes in the BBI, we all know at the end of the day we are pastoralists and we yearn for change. And some of our voices and suggestions cannot be ignored. And we are here to discuss the way forward. And we are happy because the BBI principles, the President and the former Prime Minister agreed to have some of the changes that our parliamentary group had suggested. I support the BBI because it will bring harmony. But while at it, let's ensure that it's an all-inclusive proposal. It's an all-inclusive document that's going to benefit all of us. So fellow youth, let's stand for our rights. Let's stand for our share. We are the future. So without much ado, thank you so much, and let's keep up with the discussion. And I hope we should have another conference to see that these proposals we are talking about here will be considered in the final document. Thank you so much and have a good day.
Thank you. I'm Mohammed Amin Ahmed Jelle, raised, born and bred in Wajir. We want to talk about very few issues which will help us, the youth. First of all, we have the Youth Commission. They say the Youth Commission will comprise of 4 youth. That's the 4 youthful members. That's what we want to talk about. And I'm being emotional here, please, because we have been hurt as the youth for a very long time. And it's time to take power by the throat. I'm not inciting anyone. I'm just saying as it is. So, what's the function of this commission? It's to connect the national agenda of the youth and to ensure that the youth are heard. That's the first. They're going to make proposals and they're going to make sure that the youth are heard. BBI for us, people of Northern Kenya, people of ASAL counties, it is a bridge from a bleak past full of discrimination, injustices and segregation, both systemic and systematic discrimination from the government, to a future of hope, abundance and progress. For us, BBI is an opportunity. And for BBI to help the youth, for it to help us as Kenyans, we need political goodwill, we need leaders who care, and we need leaders who fight for what matters. Thank you very much.
My name is Emmanuel Olintome from Narok County. I'm just here to make a brief comment on the BBI and why we're here. And as a youth, I think we're here to confer since it's a conference. And mine is only 2-way. Number one, let's approach this thing in 2 fronts. One is that as the national youths, and number 2 as the national youths of ASAL counties. I'll go direct to the ASAL counties as I think my learned friend has already espoused on the national constitutional amendments. When specifically talking about ASAL counties, before I make any comments, I would like to say that as a youth from ASAL counties, let's know that this amendment will determine our future generations. Our leaders are here. They'll do their part. They will go. What we make today and we change in our time will determine our future generation. What will our kids say about that? Now, I don't know if you're all aware of the ASAL National Policy on Sustainable Development that was launched in 2013. And it was actually put as drafted as a bill in 2008. Our lawyer here has explained about 1965 paper. It has taken many years for us to achieve this. Questions to raise. Number one, are we covered under the current constitution? Yes, equalization fund is there. The policy is there. No act on ASAL, but the equalization fund is there, and my major issue with that, if you look at Article 204, it categorically says it is there to serve and see that the historical injustices that we have suffered as ASAL counties, be it Northern Kenya or Narok or Kajiado, it is there to cure that. So I think we are covered, yes. When you're talking about that, I think it is imperative upon us as youth from ASAL counties to hold our leaders and our county governments accountable. And it is our leaders to also look at it. Because, guys, we have all these legislations. Even if the constitution passes today, we will need to see to it that it has been implemented. And my end, I will say like this. We have had many disappointments. A lot of disappointments. From national government, county government, and even from our own selves. We have had disappointments on ourselves. But I'll end by saying this. As Martin Luther King said, we must accept finite disappointment. We are all humans, and we make mistakes, and we get disappointed. But we must always, never lose hope on infinite hopes that is going to be ahead of us. So with that few remarks, I'll say that let's have this conference. Thank you.
I'm Akitela Longole Linda from Turkana County, and I'm going strictly, and I mean straight, to the BBI implementation of the Youth Commission. I have a very strict question, and maybe if you put it in your consideration, then we'll all benefit as youths. Basing on this Youth Commission, is it on the national level, or will it be devolutionized to even the county levels? Are we going to have youth commissions in each county, or are we just going to have one youth commission in Kenya?
My name is Amran Wardere from Isiolo County. I just have one question in regards to BBI. And according to my understanding, BBI has touched on agriculture. So my question is, since people from ASAL areas are mostly pastoralists, does BBI include that a livestock part? Does agriculture involve the livestock part? Or is it all about when we talk, because when we say agriculture, we mean kwenda kulima na kupanda and whatever. Now, what about the livestock, the pastoralists, since most of Northeastern people are pastoralists? Yeah, thank you.
Bilal Osman Mohammed from Garissa County. It is very important that we engage ourselves. It is very important as youth that we engage in these discussions. And we have several discussions because the BBI process and the national discourse that has just started, we are just at the beginning. And like my colleagues have said, our lawyer, that a constitution is not an end to itself. It is just a means to an end. So basically, what we are trying to do is we are trying to do some changes. And as youth, we support. But obviously, one of the main issues that has already been mentioned is the Youth Commission. So that one is a step in the right direction. Our concern as ASAL is the space, the youth space, both at the regional level and also at the national level. So in as much as as we embark on these processes, let us try to expand those spaces, both amongst ourselves as youth.
We support PPI and we must get our share. I think that is the bottom line. I don't know whether it is true or not. We are hearing that in northern Kenya, we have been given one slot. I think that is unfair. We need more shares. I think as 3 counties, it is not fair to be given one position out of 70. That is below average. I think our national leaders pull up your socks. I think with Honorable Kainan and other honorable members who are here, you are capable.
You can fight for your counties. Thank you very much. And let me thank the organizers of this event. You have done a very wonderful job. You make us proud. I think if you see our youth coming together and discussing our futures, I think this is a good start. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, first of all, for inviting us to this important session. I consider it a very important session because the youth are commonly and now going to be integrated into the political discourse, political conversations, which is affecting their daily lives. And I consider the BBI as a very transformative, very well-crafted, consultative process, which has taken about 2 other events and have been able to bring up the concerns of many Kenyans on board. For those who doubt naysayers, and if you look at in terms of the hierarchy, in terms of the leadership of this country, the legislative, you're going to have a president, a deputy president. I haven't seen anybody among the youth or the people in the ASAL saying that among these top leadership, why don't you have an ASAL? Why didn't you have an ASAL? This is an opportunity for you through the political positions that you have. We do not need to hold brief for anybody. And we, the pastoralist community, are not going to hold political brief for anybody, for any political leader other than the interest of the ASAL. Other than the interest of the ASAL. It is incumbent upon us as leaders to have a conveyor belt, which is a party for the pastoral communities, for the ASAL, any party that can be able to give us the due share that is required in the top hierarchy of the leadership of this country. If you have any of those, all these other matters you think of, whether you bring a good constitution or another constitution, so long as you don't have one who has the interest of the ASAL at heart, then you will not have somebody to drive your process. So youth, I will suggest strongly that we support this political process, which has been rolled out as an opportunity for us, and we give us the input that is required, knowing that it is much better than the Constitution 2010, which has been promulgated in 2010. Thank you very much. That is the message I have for you.
Look, it is very important. It's a very important day today. I really want to thank the organizers who I do acknowledge with a lot of respect that they have organized this, and they have organized this for posterity, for the good of our society. And therefore, I really want to say that the youth who have come together in hand, in strength, to establish this very important national conversation to our people. It is very important that we acknowledge them, and therefore the chairman and the secretariat of this very important meeting, I really want to say that it is a buckwheat for you. So I really want to say that continue this. You see, national conversation is not for particular individuals, for particular people. It is for everyone, every Kenyan from all walks of lives. And therefore, the youth are not exceptional. They are inceptional, which means they are part and parcel of that particular boat of conversation, national conversation that we're having today, that we're having in this country. And when I say today, it does not necessarily mean today, the Saturday, but it means today, at this particular time of the year, that we are doing that. And in the Somali proverbial words that they say, Ninki makamba si isa dibedala. What that means is he who is away, his cow will have a bull, not a haver. And therefore, we need to be aware of that, what that means. But I mean, that is to highlight to you why it is important for us to be present at the table of discussion and national conversation. And the youth are the most important members of our society. I want to use a terminology that every one of you is familiar with. Today, the imperative is imperative. What do I mean by the imperative is imperative? I'm using the same word for, explanation of another word. The imperative are the youth, and it is imperative that they come to the table and discuss what they think of their future. The future is in your hands. But for me, my worry isn't necessarily about the youth of today. It is the generation to come. It is the generation to come that you and I will be passing on the baton of our livelihood to them.
That the BBI process or any constitutional making process is a very, very dynamic, very complex, highly diverse process that we must always be prepared to listen, appreciate, and be tolerant, because that is the only way we can gain from each other. We have a representative democracy. Wavijana, nataka msikie hii. We have a representative democracy. And you know the history of this. Once upon a time, the people of Greece used to have a number of islands. They used to meet so many days. That is the birthplace of representative democracy. And that's why those of us whom are interested with their leadership, we will not ask you to support something that we know does not take care of our interest. Personally, I participated in the birth of the August 2010 Constitution. In that particular document, there are three things. It's a collision of interest. When we were in Naivasha or Bomas, one group wanted pure presidential system. The people of Mount Kenya wanted a pure presidential system. The other groups who were led by the Honorable Raila Odinga from Nyanza wanted a pure parliamentary system. For us from the minorities, and I will not call ourselves then again minorities, we wanted devolution. Devolution that will take resources back to the villages, because that is one thing that we were really, really denied. There were negotiations. Negotiations that brought together the different emerging interests. And that is what gave us the current August 10 Constitution. And to be fair, that is the period that I can rightfully say we got our independence. August 2010 Constitution. That is the truth, because that is where the resources that have gone back to our counties for the last 7 or 8 years is more than the resources that went back to our former districts from independence to August 2010. These are the realities. How did we achieve that change? It is because of collaborative, deliberate participation in the national conversation. Give your views. Say, this is where you think you ought to be. This is where you are. And this is why, for those of us who have gone through the document, I have gone through this document so many times. And I will tell you, it's not a perfect document. It is not a perfect document because this is a man-made document. It can never be perfect. It can never. That is why the August 2010 that we passed is not perfect. Even at the time when we were passing, we were saying 90% is good, 10% has issues. We say there will be another opportunity. And I'll tell you the secret here. Today's minorities might be tomorrow's majority. Take this. Roles change. Who told you you'll ever be a minority? Communities are increasing. The demographics are changing. And therefore, don't be static. Don't just say, I was a minority once upon a time. No. Open your sight. Expand your horizon of thinking. And participate confidently in the national discourse. That is the only way you can firmly and proudly say you are a member of this very progressive premier republic called Kenya. And that's what every citizen actually is expected to be. Kwa ufupi, I know tuko na watu ya media hapa. Sisi tukiwa wafugaji tunasema kikulacho kinguni mwako. Kwa wakati huu ni wakati wetu tukiwa wa vijana. Wababu zetu walikuwa na wakati wao. Wakati wa Kenya walinyakua uhuru, sisi tukiwa wakaaji wa sehemu kadhaa ya nchi hii hatukuwa tayari. Ndio kwa bahati mbaya ile katiba tulipatiwa haikuwa katiba ambayo imeangalia maslahi yetu. Kwa hivyo kwa wakati huu na wasihi, siasa itakuwa na wakati yake. Na wasihi mkiwa wa vijana, zote tusimame tuiunge mkono hii BBI report, na zile sehemu kidogo pengine hapa na pale inatusumbua already tumewashilisha kabisa kwa wale wanahusika, na siasa itakuwa na wakati wake. Na wasihi msitumike kwa siasa mbaya. Mzee Moi alisema siasa mbaya maisha mbaya. Na huyo mzee alikuwa mzee akili sana na alikuwa anajua maana yake. Please, when your time comes as an elder, and I know we'll all grow, tunataka tuwajibike ili watoto wetu waseme wakati wetu tulijangia kwa kuandika katiba ya sasa ambayo itawasaidia Wakenya wote, ambayo italeta Wakenya wote. Na mimi bila shaka pale Mheshimiwa Raila wako, pale Mheshimiwa Uhuru Kenyatta wako, haki ya wafugaji itaangaliwa, imewahi kuangaliwa, na sisi tukiwa wakilishi wenu tutakuwa tayari kwa wakati wote kulinda haki yenu, kulinda haki ya Wakenya wengine, ili Kenya kama nchi zote tuendelee mbele.
Mimi leo kwanza ningesema heko kwa vijana kutoka sehemu ya ASAL ambao imetupatia fursa hii leo, because zamani tulikuwa nasikia tu vijana kutoka sehemu fulani kutoka Northern Kenya, lakini sasa imekuwa ASAL regions of Kenya. Inaonekana wameona mwangaza, wakasema tunaaminiana sisi tukiwa watu ya ASAL, ikiwa ni Waturkana, ikiwa ni Wasomali, ikiwa ni Borana, ikiwa ni Masai. Wameona ya kwamba shida yao ni moja. Ndio hii ASAL group imebuniwa. Kwa hivyo ningesema asanteni sana kwa kuleta vijana yetu pamoja ili waseme shida zao, waseme shida za wananchi kote katika ASAL areas. Asema asanteni sana.
So far so good. I think we have come very far. This has become a workshop, a seminar, a lecture, a conference. We have had so much. We have exchanged so much. We have been sensitized so much. But all looks very good. I'm very happy that the communities from the ASAL counties or from the pastoralist communities have become the most vocal and most participatory in the national conversation on the BBI. Because no other community has met in the number of events we have met, either as national leaders, as members of parliament, as members of the Frontier Counties Development Council, which brings together the governors from the arid and semi-arid lands, and very many forums. I think we have been able to make our message very clear on where we are, what we think of the BBI, what we want in the BBI, and what our interest is. I'm very happy that our voice is loud and clear. I want us to commit and to bring out of this conference that we, the ASAL communities, are committed to supporting the BBI in its entirety without any division among ourselves. By the fair fact that our interest has been taken care of, our views have been heard, commitments have been made, that all our interests will be taken care of. Do you all agree with me that we support the BBI, including my friend from Mandera? I don't know whether he's still here. Can you raise your hands? So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. We will be together. If you have any views, please send them to us. We'll make sure that our views are taken care of, and we will be together. Thank you very much.